going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Uncrowned Otaku. By now, I would hope everybody has seen Dragonball Daima. I have a few thoughts on it, and I'm going to be as honest as I can about this. Dragonball Daima, overall, I thought was a fun watch. Yeah, fun would be the appropriate word, especially the last, 5 episodes. Really, really interesting. But it clears up a few things. It does open up a couple plot holes. Let's start with what I didn't like. I didn't like the timing of Daima because it's right after the Tournament of Power, and we see how upscale some of these characters can get. We have Jiren, we have Toppo, we have Kefla, the fusion of Khalifa and Kale. It was such strong characters with capabilities of just drastically altering worlds and universes. We have the gods of destructions, the angels, Zeno. We've seen Zamasu, and then to scale all the way back to right after the Buu saga. And most of Daima was just at the power level of a Super Saiyan, maybe a Super Saiyan 2. So the drastic backtracking and power scale pissed me off a little bit. I was a little upset at that. I'm like, bro, I'm not here to go back in time. I'm here to see how strong we're going to get. So that part upset me, but I think that's genuinely probably the only part that really upset me was the power scaling going back down. Because I really enjoyed how they closed up a few things with the whole Namekians are actually from the demon world. And you would think, of course, because Piccolo's dad was Demon King Piccolo, right? Why wouldn't they be? But then you go to Namek and you think, oh, Namekians, Piccolo, he came from this planet in outer space. No, they came from the demon world, then they migrated to the real world and found that planet and called it Planet Namek. To make all Namekians come from the demon world, genius, and it just genuinely makes sense. The Supreme Kai, to realize he's also from the demon world, his whole kind comes from the demon world. Genuinely, again, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Now, for the story, for the plotline of Daima, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was phasing in and out. Boy, I could care less about the plotline of Daima. Until we got to the end and we got the Super Saiyan 4 and then the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I was like, bro, get me up out this story. Again, the Namekian stuff was cool, and seeing what the old Namekian can do. The old Namekian has powers Dende and Piccolo could only dream of. When this man hit the scene in episode, I think it was episode 1, right? And he immediately just summoned all the Dragon Balls to him. And they were like, well, we gotta wait because, they just got used. You gotta give it a year or two so that they can regain their strength. And he was like, chill, I got this. Did some magic spell, and they all just immediately gathered to him. I'm like, bro, why isn't Dende this nice? Why can't Piccolo do this? Where was Kami at when Kami was in the mix? Why wasn't he doing these things? Kami and that old Namekian, I can't remember his name, but I feel like if Kami was still alive and not fused with Piccolo, he would have got along with that dude. So that part was cool. Seeing Goku go Super Saiyan 4, I liked it. Again, the red hair on top, it makes sense. It threw me off a little bit. But even more than seeing Goku go Super Saiyan 4, the highlight of the season for me was seeing Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3. Because, bro, that was just a broken link in the Saiyan chain for Vegeta. He would go Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, then Super Saiyan 4. So now that he just filled in that gap with 3, and to see how his hair just straight up, it's still wild. Super Saiyan 3, the hairs do whatever they want. I thought that was cool. And then when he was fighting Goma at the end, when he goes adult Super Saiyan 3, he crosses his arm and he starts kicking him. That stance, I don't know if a lot of people picked this up, that was Vegito. So what that led me to believe is when they fuse with the Potara earrings, Vegeta is the main personality in Vegito. Goku is the main personality in Gogeta. I think that's kind of how the fighting styles seem to go. And Gogeta was the one who did like this, right? That's Goku. That's Goku's personality coming out. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, Vegeta's driving the car in Vegito, and Goku's driving the car in Gogeta. So that was cool to see too. Kind of gave me an aspect. Vegeta hit the final flash. Again, it didn't end nobody. The final flash is the one move that's final, but never ends anybody. Bro, that pissed me off. He didn't even say it was final flash. He put his hands together, charged up, and just shot that hoe. He didn't even give us the final flash. No, he just shot it. If I wasn't such a DBZ expert, I wouldn't even know it was the final flash. What are we doing here? Let that man announce his move. His final flash is his most favorite move that I have. His most favorite move. His final flash is my favorite move that he has. Big Bang Attack, Gauntlet Gun, cool and all, but the Final Flash, bro, that move is different. And he only uses it a couple times. Because it's supposed to be a game changer. It never is, but it's supposed to be. I wish they would have let him final, clasp his hand together, you see it charge up, flash, then the beam just shoot out. Super Saiyan 4. I missed the 10 times Kamehameha. Me and my brother had a discussion where he said he hated that they called it a 10 times. Like, bro, he thought the multiplier should only be for the Kaioken. Kaioken times 2, times 10, times 100, whatever. And I was like, no, a 10 times Kamehameha, it lets us know how devastating, how powerful the Super Saiyan 4 really is. The fact that his already devastating Kamehameha just got multiplied by 10 in this form, and that it turned red was crazy. So I was upset that the beam isn't red anymore, and that it's just a Kamehameha, but that's not the end of it. Goma. I don't know how I feel about Goma as a villain. It feels like, strength-wise, he's not that strong. Because Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was putting the pause on him. That third eye just makes him damn near immortal. So even when Goku and Vegeta was fighting him, they just tired themselves out. It's like you're a power puncher and you're swinging, You know if one hits, you're going to knock your opponent out, but you whiffing, so you tire yourself out. They punched themselves out. They weren't weaker than Goma. So it's hard for me when I think about enemies, where do I scale Goma? I feel like strength-wise, he's weaker than Boo. But because he has that third eye that gives him, like, again, almost immortality, overall it scales him a little above Boo. Because it stands to reason at the end, Goku in his adult form did go Super Saiyan 4. And he was putting pause on Goma. Goma couldn't do anything. And considering in Super Saiyan 3, he was putting pause on Fat Boo, could stand the reason he could probably put pause on Majin Buu. Well, on Super Buu. Potentially Kid. He did go Super Saiyan 3 against Kid Buu, but he kind of got worked too. I think. They was actually kind of going tit for tat, honestly. So Super Saiyan 4 would be stronger than Buu. But again, Super Saiyan 3 dominated Goma. So again, I think Goma physically is weaker than Buu, but immortality just scales him up. So with that being said, what I was thinking was, this is the moment where we find out if Super Saiyan 4 is stronger than Super Saiyan God. And I'm not even going blue. I'm just going regular red hair. And I think, after seeing this, and I don't know if it's fair to scale, because it was when he was Super Saiyan 4, it was a dominating fight. He beat the hell out of Goma, but he tired himself out super quick. If he could bang with gods in Super Saiyan Red, see where I'm getting. I think it is weaker than God. That's what I'm getting to. Because if we think about when Beerus showed up, he told Goku to go as high as you can. Goku went Super Saiyan 3, Beerus flicked him, and he was gone. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta can put the pause on Goma. Super Saiyan 4 puts the pause a little more on Goma. So it stands to reason, even if we went Super Saiyan 4, the strength gap is probably still so drastic that Beerus would have easily handled him. But when he's Super Saiyan God Red, red hair, he made Beerus use at least 60%. If one flick can take a Super Saiyan 3 out, then he just goes up 4 again. Probably a palm would take him out, right? So and again, because Goma, we don't really have a scope of how strong Goma is. Although Goma beam clashed with him. He did punch him and hurt him a few times. That was after Goku. You could argue Goku was tired. But just from looking, and again, it's not fair to even scale because the opponents are so different. But my eye test visually says Super Saiyan 4 is a lot weaker than Super Saiyan God. So I think that's something that Super Saiyan they introduced with Super Saiyan 4 is giving us the answer that, yes, Super Saiyan God is the next level. 4 doesn't compete. And if you want to argue that in the comments, I'm here for the argument. I'm not necessarily tied to either side because I do prefer 4 over the God forms, but it just, visually, it just seems like 4 is less impressive by the end of Daima. It just seems like it's not all there. Another thing is now they're opening up a loophole of if Goku, because Goku at the end said he's been training this form. And whatever the Namekian did, because Goku admitted he didn't perfect it, but whatever the Namekian did when Goku got knocked out during the first Goma fight, I think he did kind of, if y'all remember what Dende did for Gohan and Krillin when they were fighting Frieza, I think he healed him. But with the demonic energy he used to heal him, it perfected that Super Saiyan 4 transformation Goku was working on. I think. That's what makes sense logically in my head. Again, that's just what makes sense in my head. So, the problem now is, because if Daima is canon to right after Buu, Then when Beerus showed up, why didn't Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3 against Beerus? And why didn't Goku go to Super Saiyan 4 against Beerus? So now, although we tied up a few things, now we open up this can of worms, which probably won't be addressed, because why would they don't need to address it. Honestly, they don't need to address it. Goku, you could just say Goku still hadn't perfected it. He could only use it in the demon world. It don't explain. I guess Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta didn't do that against Beerus because it takes so long to power up. He didn't have time. He was just enraged by seeing his wife get hit. So there's a couple explanations that could make sense without having to go back and redo that whole thing. But even then, canonically, now it just confirms God is stronger than 4. And I don't know if I like that. Again, 4 is really my favorite. And if you were to ask me this a month ago, 4 was strong. 4 was the strongest form, and they got hoed. But if you ask me today, it can't be the strongest form. It just, seeing it against Goma, it just kind of lacked the mystique that it had in GT. And that could just be me. Maybe that could just be the fact that Daima overall just seemed like a drop down in power scaling in general. But y'all can't lie and say you think Super Saiyan 4 is going to bang with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20? Get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, overall, and again, R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. For the most part, I enjoyed Daima, even though it had some glaring weaknesses to me. If I'm taking everything into account, an enjoyable experience. R.I.P. to the GOAT. He gave us one of the most legendary animes of all time. I'm interested to know who's taking the helm over from here and what do they plan on doing going forward. Because Dragon Ball is still a cash cow. It still has so many opportunities going forward. The manga is still going, and that's a whole nother beast. Get it, Gohan, beast, get it. I'm hilarious. All this to say, with Daima being over, how did y'all like it, and what do y'all think they're gonna do moving forward? I'm Crown Kingdom. I'm genuinely interested in y'all thoughts on this, because from my experience, the people that I talked to, a lot of people don't like it. I got a couple people that said they loved it. It's a very mixed bag with Daima. So I'm curious where y'all lie at. I'm Crown Kingdom. I've been your buddy on Crown Otaku. That's the fire that keeps the kingdom burning safely. And I'm going to see y'all in the next episode. Or video. Or live stream. I'll see y'all whenever. Peace, bros. Peace.